tried it before. I've just looked up on the map. Looks like there is some decent deep water. I would expect some sand and maybe some gravel bottom. To try that out. It's always exciting, I think, to try a new fishing spot. Show you why I use these sinkers with the long center wire. Here I have a short one. Take a look what's happened on the beach. Here you can see it's just walking. When the pressures get too high, it tumbles. Now I'll change over to the other one. Might get dragged a bit, but it locks up. I have to pull really hard. That's why I use the longer wire. Okay. I wanted to show you guys how I bait up. First I wet the baiting needle with saliva. It's a pointy end. Here the other end there is a hole in it that you insert over the hook. Here I have some salted logworm. Basically what I do is I cut off just a little out of the head, and then I just push out as much body fluid out of it as I can. Then I salt them, then lay there on some newspaper and salt them some more until they have this so they look more or less like this, and then I just roll them out in the newspaper. I usually do it head first, so also the same way it goes on the hook. This is the first one. You can take the juices and gather in some sort of container and then freeze it down, and then you're going out to the next fishing trip. You can put that in the water to attract fish, so you don't waste all the nice juices from the logworm. So now will soon have 4 worms on my baiting needle. Then I fold back the newspaper so the wind cannot take it. Put it in my tray. See the pull rig here, there's the silicone stud here, so when the fish try to escape with the bait, it hits that one. So it's actually working as a carp fisherman's bolt rig, so it's getting early hookup. But the big fish can of course pull it all the way to get your lead above the fish. It is originally the pulley rig designed for taupe fishing. Then I clean my hands a bit in this water. So they get the worst of it off. And here in my shell I have my clean cloth here. Yeah, it's there. Put my baiting needle back in the holder. Clean my hands so I don't get infected with bacteria and so on. It's very important that you take a new cloth every time, and also make every time for every trip, I would say. Also for make sure it's clean, the box. So now I take this one. It's actually some support band over my right arm, because when I'm casting, the shock leader knot is passing over here, and it's doing passing over here, so it will cut into my clothes if I don't do it. Have this on. Oh, it's much better. Yeah. Notice that I loosened the magnetic braking during the cast. That's something you can do by experience. The more experience you get, the better. When I go out fishing at night time, I always start up when it's still light, due to that I can have a few casts before. And what I do is, when I let go of the spool, I count 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, until that I can see the lead goes down. So when it's dark, I just cast the same way as I did when it's daytime. Then I'll know when I count down that when to stop the spool, because when I get to, for example, 25 again, well, then it ought to stop, so you don't get these overruns on your multipliers. Yeah, I like multipliers due to the fact that it's very compact. It's a compact reel. Also, you have bearings in both ends of the spool that you don't have on a fixed spool reel, because it's actually sitting on some part of steel, and then it can be pulled a little to the side. So the construction here is much stronger. All right, so now I just say this one is my small pins, was the one that came up first, so this should be the one that's come in first. All right, so the reels today is also the HST, and well, the rods, I mean, is the HSTs, and the Evos, and the Pen 515 Mark II. I like these reels, except for of course the reel foot is a little bit too high for coasters, I think. Yeah. All right. Just tighten up the lines. I brought something with me today. You should see that. This is the best cake you can buy at a bakery. It's called a bouillabaisse. It is so juicy, and to describe how good it tastes, every person I have with me on a fishing trip that tries this, they get totally quiet because it just tastes so good. I'll show you how this works. The lead, the and so on, the lead and the rig. Here there's some grooves, so just push the wire in, turn it around, it locks up. Should be low tide now, but it looks like it's getting higher and higher, the water. A little afraid for my campsite. So here is a impact shield. It works like when the water is pushing up on this one, when it lands it pushes that one out, and as you can see the line is then forced out to the side, and that's what's pushing the hook up. Here I have my snoots, beads, copper stop, 2 beads with a swivel in the middle, and a Hagini rig clip here. On top I have the pulley, a big swivel, and then I have these amnesia with floating beads and these silicone rig stops. I think the hook size is around 1/0. I wanted to tell you why I stopped using the paddle tackle. The main body of the tackle is stretched during the cast, as well as the shock, well, not the shock leader, but the hook snoot. And the SRT springs should compensate for that, but they don't if you cast really far. And how much is far? Well, if you don't cast over 200 meters on the tournament field, you're probably not going to have that issue. But if you're using stiffer rods, you can really push, you're going to have that issue eventually. So that's why I use this pulley loop rig, where, well, although I had to go up into the dams of the hook snoots, I don't catch more or less than I did before. So that's why I don't use them anymore. See, I use my thumb as a level wind, tight down. Yeah. I would like to show you how to use a disc scorcher. Here, so you can put it's open, so you put take the beads, push them up the line, and then you just put the line in the loop and push through at the side of one of the gill covers. And you need to have a feeling for it. This is going to be one side or the other. And then I have it through, then I push. That's the right side. Then I grab the line below the gill cover. Then I pull. And now I have the hook is turned around and have unhooked it. Very harmless to the fish. This one, I don't know. It's going back is not even 23 centimeters. So, yeah. One important thing that I forgot this time was to wet my hands before grabbing fish. So that the layer of slime around the fish is protecting the fish from bacteria. So I was actually doing it wrong. So remember that. Remove the old worm. Check that it is sharp. I do that with the nail. It should bite into the nail. If it doesn't, it isn't sharp enough. Then I put the wire in again on the sinker. Especially the bottom hook on the full loop rig is exposed to a lot of gravel and sand, so it might easily be dull. So remember to check that it's good enough. So just hold the baiting needle towards my chest, slide over the worm. Then I try to remember the conditions of the water, the clarity, and it took on the floating beads, a yellow and pink one. So sometimes, although that looks pretty clear, it can be good with some color. Nice with the cloth with soap on, dishwashing water, clean hands so you don't get disease. But worm juice can really destroy your hands. You wear that. Some people asked on the social media where I got this from, and it was when I was dating Sharon Stone. She said she didn't need it because I was very good with my hands. I don't know why, but that's what she said. But if you aren't that fortunate to have been dating Sharon Stone, then you can go to Bauhaus. You can buy it there. Small. That's even smaller than the first one. Oh yeah. At some point it felt a little bigger. Maybe I lost one of them. I don't know. Or maybe not. Again. See? Yeah, same trace. So now we're just gonna pull it out. It's right here, the hook. Okay, I want to share a great tip for when you're out, it's cold and so on. It's an old soldier's trick where you have your spare socks lying here over your shoulder. They're nice warm now, and I can change them over and take the other ones and put up here. The reason why you put them above the shoulder is that heat is going upwards, so that way your body will dry your socks. So after an hour, maybe 2, you'll change the socks again and have a rotation system. And keep your socks dry, your feet dry, and you'll really feel comfortable. There's nothing more irritating or uncomfortable than freezing your feet. This trick can change your day from a shitty day to a good day. So teach it to your kids, use it yourself, try it out. It's one I use all the time. I want to be clear, I do suffer from TCD. It's for those who don't know it, it's a terminal caster's disease. We can't help it when we cast, we just want to cast far, although the fish is not always out there. Just want to clarify that. It is very contagious, TCD. I can't help it. I'm sorry. This is just another small fish, not really big, and I remember to wet my hands this time. What I do when I pack my things down is I have a clean cloth that's been soaked in dishwashing water, and I wipe down my rods totally, all between the rings and everything, all I can do, and then I dry cloth, drive it over before I put it in my bag. So clean out, clean in to the bag. I see some people take the rods from in here on the beach, and they get sticky from the salt in the air, and they just put them in, and the salt is gonna stay in the bag, some of it. So when they take the rods out, when they come home and post them down and dry them and put them in, then there's still salt in their bag. So, and if there's just a little moisture, something, then it's gonna, the rings is gonna rust and corrode. So, and also I come home, I take my rods out of the bag and post down the coasters if there's anything there, and then I leave them to dry, and my rod bags is also gonna hang up for dry, so they also dry before I put the rods back in. Usually I post down the reels and take cloths and wipe them down, and then I leave them to dry for at least 4 or 5 days before I put them in the box again. So yeah, that's basically it. My shelter is also gonna be put up in the garage, and then I'll take a brush and get all the sand off it, and then after a day or so, when it's dry, then I'll pack it down. So yeah, of course my rigs, they're also gonna be hosed down, and I leave that in my bait box. That way they are not coming in the folder before they're clean and dry. So I'm back at the workshop. Well, what can you expect this time of year? Not much, but 3 flounders and under the minimum size. That's not a lot, but that's what is going to happen sometimes when you try a new venue. But I think it was an interesting place, and I would definitely try it some other time under different conditions, maybe in the autumn or early winter. I think that it has potential. Okay, so see you another time.